Game of Thrones is an epic fantasy series that premiered on HBO in 2011 and has been garnered with vast critical and commercial success ever since. Based on a still unfinished saga of books entitled A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, the story revolves around the intricate struggle for power over the fictional continents of Westeros and Essos. Sporting an unparalleled production value, it is filmed in multiple countries on multiple continents at the same time, sports a huge, diverse, and talented cast, and regularly utilizes some of the most talented directors, writers, and producers in the industry. The series has already garnered the accolade for most popular series on HBO ever, and has produced an audience that spans the entire globe. There are numerous characters on Game of Thrones that I've formed a real attachment to the last couple of years. There's Tyrion, the dwarf who is always quick-witted and sharp-tongued, and while known for his drinking and whoring, is also one of the most enduring characters on the show. Arya is a young girl who has been catapulted into this misogynistic and brutal world, and we see her become a more resilient, smart, and even callous young woman throughout the series. Jon Snow's another favorite of mine. He's a gloomy bastard who doesn't seem to know anything. Each one of these characters has their own followings, and their actions and struggles and fates are actively discussed and argued over by fans, myself included. What drew me in is the same thing that many get entranced over, which is a complicated story that seems to both satisfy aesthetically and mentally. Fantasy has always been considered a niche market for media, with old tales of knights and dragons always catering to a select crowd of people. Since 2011, Game of Thrones has been progressively gaining popularity and quickly becoming one of the forefronts of pop culture consciousness. What has always impressed me about the fans of the series is how diverse they are, transcending worn-out demographics that separate age, race, gender, or sexual orientation, and really finding a fully diverse audience. From an erotic analysis of the text, it becomes apparent that the series is very well adapted to a wide range of audiences due to its transcendent nature. According to Roland Barthes, there are two types of pleasure that can be derived from consuming media, either plaisir or jouissance, which are both being met simultaneously while watching Game of Thrones. When regarding plaisir, one would need to go no further than highlighting some of the broad, appealing aspects of the show. Badass characters, ice zombies, swashbuckling sword fights, gratuitous nudity, fucking dragons. Obviously, many of these characteristics appeal to people regardless of how the story or character development was. Many watch the show just for these reasons and are passive consumers of the text. When exploring the second kind of pleasure, jouissance, which involves the pleasure derived from actively engaging with a text, it can be pretty apparent that the depth and complexity of the story depicted on Thrones is a huge appeal to many people, especially those who frequently watch television and yearn for mature, thought-provoking entertainment. The political upheavals and strategies, the betrayals, the often cryptic dialogue, the dynamic and deep backstory and cultural complexity of every region invite viewers to become truly engrossed in the lore and canon of Westeros. This duality, the fact that Game of Thrones can be immensely appealing as both a closed and open text to its viewer, is directly responsible for the immense critical and commercial success of the series.